It's all over. It is now.
Hello, after a long break, welcome back to A View from the Stands again for the third series now. And we've been away for, was it 2 months now, 3 months?
Yeah, we had a bit of an international break, didn't we?
Yeah. We've had a long break for all the National League, Nations League fixtures. But now we're back to give you a Halloween treat and come back to talk about how we're going to predict the season, how fantasy football's going, and all your old favourites, just having a bit of a catch-up on the football. So, welcome back, lads. Is everyone all right?
Yes, thanks.
Good, thank you. All good.
Yeah, not too bad.
So, let's talk about the start of the season first, I'm guessing, then. So, thoughts on the start of the season? We'll start with Connell. Connell, how have you summed up on the whole, and obviously Wolves as well?
Well, it was a good start. I thought Sheffield United 2-0. Thought two first goals in a few minutes, and I was like, "Geez, what's going on here?" And then kind of fell flat again. But just not scoring enough, to be honest. We're playing well, but we're just not scoring enough. And so when it's like always 1-0, there's always a chance when they score, they're going to get something out of the game. So. But we're doing all right. Can't argue at the moment.
Is it a case of good results but not good performances?
I think the other way around, actually. I think
performances we're not the best results.
We're not playing bad, but we're not playing well. Like, we're not getting loads and loads of chances. And I think we are relying a bit too much on Jimenez to score the goals. But it's one of them, innit? We'll see.
And what do you think about, obviously, the league on a whole? How do you think? Been surprising the start, or?
Oh, it's been great, really, isn't it? I mean, not defence. Defences have been awful, but especially Liverpool, Alex. Don't know what happened there, but it's been good to watch, but crazy.
Let's go to Alex then, shall we? Alex, what do you think about Liverpool's start? Obviously, the champions coming into the season. Confidence with some good signings, I suppose, and I still think it's not been a bad season. Still up there with the fighting, but less convincing than what we saw last season, really.
I mean, you'd think I'll be a bit disappointed, but I'm happy to be fair so far. I mean, the Aston Villa was just kind of a bit of a fluke on it, and then what else? Everton should have beat them. VAR, it's doing its bits, you know. But no, I think we're going to retain the title, to be honest.
Confidence. I didn't expect the confidence. I thought you'd be more, not negative, but more pessimistic about it. But optimistic that Liverpool are the best out of the lot still.
Yeah, well, Thiago got going. Jota looks great. Thanks, Connell. Cheers for him. Who else?
No worries.
You know, Upamecano seems to be fancying a January transfer, maybe.
You want to avoid them, mate. Rashford made him look like a right bum the other night. sent him all the way back to Red Bull FC with the other night's performance. But we'll go to Tom then. Seems we mentioned Villa living off a very good start on a whole and a very good win against Liverpool, which I think. Liverpool played really well that game. It just shows how well Villa are as a team, really.
Oh, it's been a bit of a mad start for Villa, to be honest. You know, on the last game of last season, we stayed up by a point. If you'd have said to me after 5 games we'd be third in the table, you'd think, you know, what have you been smoking? But absolutely brilliant start to the season. I mean, the first game was at Sheffield United, good win. Kept on going. And that Liverpool game was just crazy. I mean, watching it here at the flat, me, Harv and Alex, especially, you know, with Alex being a Liverpool fan, I thought, this could be a tough one tonight, but, you know, just got to bite the bullet. Jesus Christ. 7-2. it wouldn't have happened to fans in the stadium. We know that, so I don't feel like I've missed out on something there. But I think it got to the fifth went in, and I thought, I think we've got this because I still was never confident. And then 6 and 7 went in. I wasn't even celebrating. I was just laughing.
You know what the worst thing was as well?
That type of thing, wasn't it?
I was going to say it could have been a lot more as well. Like Ollie Watkins hit the bar and
Barkley had two brilliant chances in the first half. And
with that game in question, do you think that United's heavy loss to Spurs played on the Liverpool thing? Because obviously those two things happened. Within an hour of each other, and you're thinking that's two coincidences, like freak results like that happening behind each other. It seems almost strange to think like that sort of like put a thing in their heads that sort of these results can happen, and then it's sort of like, whereas before, like maybe Liverpool shut up shop after conceding 4, or I don't know. Do you think that would have happened regardless that game?
I don't know. It's hard to say really. I really thought Liverpool just got the tactics wrong in the game. I really think they did. I'm not going to sit here and say it was Dean Smith tactical masterclass. I'm not going to say that. I just thought we were sat there saying Liverpool's defensive line is so high. Every time we won the ball back, within one pass, we were through on goal. It happened so many times in the game, and Liverpool just never changed it. And we were, to be fair, we just capitalised on
that game, though. To be honest, I think Liverpool's line has been really. I mean, you see the very first game of the season, the Leeds game. Leeds were unlucky not to get points out of that because Liverpool's line was so high, and the ball in behind. Like, as much as he's a wonderful player, Trent, he does struggle to, when team put the diagonal over the top of Trent, he struggles to defend that. And I think now the thing is with Liverpool is they're still within the top 2 teams in the league. I think whatever this season, top 2, top 3. But I think teams are starting to work out how you can beat them, whereas last year teams didn't get that. And without fans, I think it's probably easier for teams to get possession against Liverpool to do those things. With fans, it's a bit hard when they're knocking the ball about. No one can get near them really. But I think now, especially, I think there's more of a chance for teams to get them like that. So without being like someone who's just a United fan who hopes Liverpool lose, I think they probably will have another few defeats like that this season. Maybe a few heavy ones, especially without Van Dijk. But
I was going to say that. I think the thing was, if Van Dijk hadn't been playing, people would have said it was because of Van Dijk wasn't playing, but he was playing, which made it worse, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I know we're punishing you, Alex. Sorry, but I mean, it was hilarious.
The thing is, because of City's bad start, who else is going to, like... Sorry, I got something in my throat. Sorry, who else is going to challenge for the title?
Wolves, mate.
United.
That's the thing this season, though. That's the thing this season.
This is not digging Tom out. Villa aren't going to be up there, are they?
You don't know that. That's the thing. You don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't think we will.
We don't know, but we do.
I think it's going to be. By the end of the season, there's definitely going to be. You always get one season where there's one surprise.
Is this the first
team.
prediction?
I think I'm done making predictions. That's what happened last season. I'm staying quiet.
What I'm saying is, there's always one team every season that makes a surprise finish. Last season, you could probably say Sheffield United. I think this season, there's going to be more than one team that finishes somewhere that you won't think they will. And I think people will be saying, Villa could get a top half finish this season. I think people.
No, I'm not saying you can't get top 10, but I'm saying challenging for the title.
That's
what I'm
not taking him out of context here, but Tom did just say that Villa are going to challenge for the title this year. Which what he definitely was just implying, wasn't it? Like, I don't know if anyone else got that.
I heard it.
I thought that's what he suggested.
Jordan, just remember who edits the podcast and who can tell things out.
But Tom's just got no predictions ever. Like that's straight out. I suppose Harvey then. So Nottingham Forest already an eventful season. Change of manager.
Yeah, it's been horrendous, to be honest. Yeah, it's been horrendous. We've had one win this season against Blackburn Rovers, a 90th minute deflected strike that went into the net. Tom and Alex have had to actually watch I think every game except from the first game of the season against QPR. And I do feel sorry for him because it's been pretty.
Cheers,
Pretty
mate.
poor so far. Unfortunately, it didn't work for Lamucci. He lost the first 4 or 5 games of the season. And he had to go. I think it was only right for him to go at that point. I thought we had a massive hangover from the season before. But bringing Chris Hughton in, undefeated so far. So I'm optimistic. Because I don't think he's ever failed at a club, really. Especially in the Championship.
Someone's got to be, mate. Because Jesus Christ, it has been awful, hasn't it, Alex?
The best you've looked all season when you had 10 men on the pitch.
Your second half against Luton.
That's how bad it is. Like,
yeah, and that was a good point. But yeah, we've got Borough Saturday, so another tough game. It's the Warnock side who it's going to be hard to break down. They're going to be hard to beat, play against. So big game.
So optimistic for the season or very negative?
I still think top 6 is definitely still there. With the team we've got on paper, it's there, but there's a long way to go yet. I think Hughton's still got to implement his tactics, what he wants from the team, what his starting 11 is, and then we might get going there. I think December, January, February will probably define our season with whatever way it will go.
We'll start on the predictions then. We'll start with you then, Harvey. Put your neck on the line. Where are Forest coming?
I'm saying top 6 still, and that is horrible from the start we've had, saying we've only won once this season, but I'm saying top 6. I said that last season, yeah, but this season is the one, hopefully.
And who goes up from the Championship?
I think Watford will. I could see Bournemouth going straight back up as well.
Reading.
Bloody Watford.
Reading are flying as well. That's the thing. I can't, and I
You
hate
would
to say
You would
that.
hate that. You would hate to see that.
I hate to say it, but they could be, for what they've done, but they can easily drop off. As a team who starts off well and just starts to drop off.
Was it Preston last season?
Preston started off well last season.
They were top for a bit, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. They were. So that's the thing, but a long way to go yet. So, but I don't think Forest will go up this season.
Premier League predictions then, Connell. Wolves finish and just the winner of the Premier League, if it's not Wolves.
I don't want to say another 7th finish again. It's just going to be a bit boring, really. Isn't it?
Take 8th.
I'm gonna say, if we can score more, if we can finish games with more goals, with games like Fulham, we should have smashed them more, like 4-0. We're going to finish top 6.
If we score more and we concede less,
that was like a Michael Owen, wasn't it? Moment.
Yeah, I didn't know Michael Owen joined us.
No, you know what? I'm gonna go one better, 6th, and I'm gonna go Man City to win the league.
Oh, okay, City to win the league.
Yeah. I think with Van Dijk out, I think City will just have enough. I think it'd be close.
Interesting.
But yeah.
Go on then. Who's next? Alex? Tom?
On Alex.
I think we're going to win the league. I think we have too much going forward. And, with Fabinho's hamstrings intact, I think he could do a job for the season. And then, do you want any other predictions like top four?
We're a top 4 then if Liverpool are going to win the league. Who finishes top 4 with them?
I think City will claw the way back to like 3rd. I think Chelsea are going to get it going shortly with those players.
No.
I think like Ziyech coming in now.
You're forgetting that they've got one of the most useless managers going. I promise you that. I've been saying this for a while.
I agree.
I'm keeping this Lampard train going. They've got we get a lot of criticism for our guy. They have got the most useless manager going. That's fact. I'm not having anything else apart from that. We've got a manager who's far better than their manager. I would say that. Really, honestly, I don't rate Lampard. I really don't. I don't think he knows how to manage that group of players.
Yeah, the team he's got, he should be top.
I agree. I just think him and Ollie are in the same sinking ship.
No. I think Ollie's got actually a bit of tactical knowledge, whereas I don't think Lampard's got much at all, to be honest.
I want it to come good for Lampard. I do. I don't know why. I don't really like Chelsea. Not massive fan. Some of the players not that keen on. I don't know what it is. Just want him to do well. If he can get that team playing, I think he's got real potential. And I want him to turn out to be a good manager in the Premier League.
He's got a weird attitude. I don't know what it's about him. He just seems to be a bit
weird as a manager.
Or something. I don't know what to. I think
Quite negative.
Yeah. I think it'd be Liverpool, Spurs, City, and I'll go Chelsea.
Was that in order?
Yeah.
No, you want Liverpool to win the league, didn't you?
Yeah, Liverpool, Spurs, City, Chelsea.
You think Spurs above City?
I think Spurs go in the league.
Oh.
I think Spurs could.
I don't think they'll be about. I don't think they'll have it about. They lost to.
Nah.
Who they lost to last night?
Yeah, that's like a
Antwerp.
pre-season game. I don't care about that.
Right, let's go for a little. Let's have a little side break here, right? I recently found out. Well, I've seen that Mourinho, obviously, he's got an Instagram back again.
Yeah.
I'd have a scroll through this morning.
So good.
Do you know what? I think this has got to be a feature on the podcast. I think we need the Mourinho Instagram updates on a weekly basis.
Yeah, weekly posts.
That is gold. Do you know what? The best thing about yesterday's is right, he's on the plane on the way. He's gone to his assistant manager. Right, can you have my phone, please? Take a picture of me. I'm just watching.
Eating popcorn.
Yeah, go. Then he's lost the game. He's fuming. He bollocks them all. He's got back on the bus. He's nearly in tears. He's gone. Take a picture of me looking angry so I can put an Instagram post up saying how angry I am. It's not even like it was harsh punishment. Oh, they'll be
bad as you are being with all the photos. Eh?
He went to his assistant. The assistant was taking a picture. Don't look at the camera, Jose. Yeah, look straight ahead. Angry.
Yeah, he definitely. I don't think he likes making eye contact with the camera, so I think it was like straight ahead focus.
It is brilliant.
Look,
I had to follow him.
Possible. And to be honest, they'd be lucky. 11 a.m. That's a lion. That is.
Lion, yeah.
That's
I know.
a lion, isn't it?
I thought that. I thought it'd be like 9 o'clock or something.
I think it was the one that he posted a picture of himself looking at people on the phones, didn't he?
Yeah.
Picture of Instagram, or people on Instagram, like.
As soon as he's gone over to take the photo, they've all put their phones down. He's like, no, just carry on as you were. It's something like, I just want to.
You're ruining it.
And it was also like him and his guys all sat in his office watching Formula One. I'm pretty sure Ledley King's in the corner and he doesn't look like he's into the Formula One or he enjoys hanging out with Jose's mates because they're not the most fluent English speakers, are they? So I guess Ledley's a bit left out of the Portuguese banter. So I feel sorry for Ledley King, to be honest, in that situation. But I think Jose's definitely going to keep us going with quality Instagram content over the season.
Hopefully.
I also enjoyed the 3 match balls. Does this mean the 3 goals I conceded against West Ham or the 3 amazing goals we scored against them? Or is this there's 2 Europa League trophies I have and the 3rd I'm going to add? I think that's confidence. I think he's moved to the modern age and I think he's trying to show he's a modern manager. But all we need is like an anti-Pep or an anti-United thing on Instagram and that'll top Mourinho's thing off. He's definitely going to dig someone like Wenger or something in there. He'll dig someone out on Instagram.
You never know with Jose.
Yeah, so I doubt he follows Pogba either, to be honest.
Jose Harvey, remember, in the document.
Is it? Sorry.
Yeah, he doesn't. He don't like being called Jose. He's Jose with a J.
Sorry, Jose.
You actually disrespected him.
I thought we could have been friends, maybe not. Derek Ray.
Hi, Jose.
Right, back to the predictions then. Tom, Villa.
I'm going to say Villa are going to finish 12th. And what do you want? Title?
Should we have some relegation 3, actually? You give us a relegation. You give us a title and then a relegation 3.
Ooh. Okay, I'll go Liverpool for the title for me. I think there's no other team that's got the consistency that they haven't been that consistent already, but I think as the season goes on, they'll just consistently pick up more points than teams like Spurs and City. I think Spurs and City can easily go to places and lose stupid games. And Liverpool, I know it's a freak result against us, but I think over the season they'll do it. Bottom 3, West Brom, Fulham, and I think Burnley.
Really? I think Sheffield United.
It's between Sheffield. I think Sheffield United will just have enough. I've just got a feeling it's Burnley's time now.
I can see that point about Burnley. I think the thing with Sheffield United is I think they'll be too loyal to Wilder that they won't want to make a change if it's going bad, and they'd rather ride the wave back down with him to the Championship than get rid of him. Maybe.
Yeah,
I think that could be one of those situations where they've had their time in the Premier League now, and now wouldn't want to upset the fans by sacking Wilder and would rather just slip back down to the Championship and say we'll rebuild with him as the manager, which I think is a bit of a dangerous game sometimes. But, I mean, he did well from last year, so you can't really criticise it. I think they struggled really a lot without fans. Like, as much as probably any other team do, I think they do.
Yeah,
them especially. I think they were about
football.
Yeah, their team spirit and like fighting, battling till like the last minute. I think that helps when there's fans behind them and urging them on. They were quite good at like it was. Bramall Lane's a horrible place to go, isn't it? If for any team, you know, Liverpool when I remember that game in particular. Dean Henson let them down, didn't they? In that game, went through his legs, didn't it? He caught it and dropped it. But
Tom's birthday.
Tough place to go. Yeah, tough place to go.
Yeah.
I'll finish with my predictions. United win the treble. No, you got to be optimistic. No, United will come top 4.
Optimistic.
That's
Deluded.
That's just sort of like a realistic prediction there. We're flying in the Champions League, right? We look like the best team in Europe when we play on a midweek game. We're not so good. We're more of a midweek side, so
it's just what it is, isn't it? Sometimes,
we like those nighttime games, and I think I'm feeling we'll win a trophy along the way at some point this year. I think we'll come top 4. I wouldn't be surprised to see us come top 3, to be honest. But I do see the Spurs thing. I think City and Liverpool are just shooing to top 3 now for a while, I'd imagine. And it's either Tottenham, Chelsea, or United who could split them. I think Tottenham, Europa League can be really hard, especially with the schedule. I think Europa League puts them at a bit of a disadvantage, but they've got a good squad. It's whether you can get Bale playing. He might literally just not have the ability to do it anymore. I mean, Bale's a great player, but it's hard with the schedule. They've got some good players. Mourinho, he can win games. Well, we say that, but he bottled West Ham game. You'd think the last manager I'd expect to bottle a 3-0 loss, a 3-0 lead would be Mourinho. So if that Spurs mentality is still lingering about, it's just the Kane and Son thing. That's the type of thing.
It's a joke, yeah.
It's like the Suarez, Sturridge sort of thing. That Liverpool's time, where that Liverpool side weren't the best, and Brendan Rodgers was a solid manager, which you'd say Mourinho now is a good manager, probably not the great manager he was, but 2 players can drag you through a season.
Definitely,
and if they're playing like that, and they keep, I know Kane, Kane can. Son's a great player as well, but Kane gets 20 plus goals.
He'll score goals whenever. Yeah.
It's if they keep him injury free. I'm putting out there. I think if Son and Kane don't pick up injuries, Spurs will finish top 4. And I think it's Chelsea.
I think they're going to win the league.
I had them down to win the league a while ago.
Only because I don't want Liverpool to win the league. I'm going to go Spurs, but I think Liverpool could and probably will.
But you were a Liverpool fan back in the day.
I hope Spurs win the league.
So I'm saying,
I used to like Gerrard. Yeah.
No, you were a Liverpool fan. There's Twitter evidence.
Yeah, I used to delete tweets from Twitter saying about Liverpool, but I like Gerrard and Torres.
Didn't you say we when referring to Liverpool once?
Yes. They're my naive days. I now support a better club.
The thing is, what's so painful about Kane is that we're going to watch him in the Euros. If it goes on, just not look anything like this Kane. Like, no way Southgate will get him playing like the way he is at the moment.
Well, that's a different topic when you come to Southgate. Like, I remember I had a conversation with friends in the summer, and I said, this was probably towards the end of last season. I said, all right, but we do an unpopular opinion, because I said I don't think Southgate, and I've said this for a while, I don't think he's a top level manager. I think that World Cup run, because I'm not I'm not a massive national team fan. I never have been. Obviously, I'm English, but I've never been one. During the World Cup, and I've always said there's a thing that annoys me. I can't ever get behind them like everyone else does. I remember the World Cup, and everyone's getting carried away with it, and I'm always a bit like, I find it hard to back England anyway, just because I've got bad history of United players and stuff. I just find it quite hard to back England.
Yeah.
But I think that World Cup run's massively just saved Southgate from being just a bang average England manager.
What's he done really? He was Middlesbrough manager, and didn't he get relegated with them?
Yeah, well, great.
I don't even think he's a Premier League manager, to be honest.
Under 21s England, wasn't he? And he got promoted from that. So, don't get me wrong, that World Cup was brilliant. Something I'll always remember in footballing memories for my life. But I do agree. we're at a level now where you're looking at the squad and you're thinking we've got to do something with this squad. We've really got to do something, and I don't know if he is the man to do that.
I'll tell you what he's kind of done is I think he's acted almost in one of those director of football roles for a national team. He's done very good in that, improving media relations, bringing through young players, making sure they're they've got a very young squad. He's helped do that, just improve the squad atmosphere, getting rid of those team things.
I think he's created a good culture.
When it comes to the match days, I don't think he's got good squad management. Seeing the Greenwood Foden thing, just airing them out to that point to the press and everything. Like, fair enough, they did wrong. They deserve to be dropped. But the way he put them out in front of the press, he put Greenwood out in front of the press when United had asked him not to put him out in front of the press anyway because he's still young. So he ignored that, and that sort of man management. And then it's just the tactics in the games are just what you'd expect from a championship level manager managing good players. You don't know what to do with them really. You've not got someone expansive, someone who can play good football. I don't even think Arsene Wenger would do a bad job with England, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think he would do a good job. I think he'd do a good job with them.
I think Southgate's just he won't rustle any feathers. He won't be controversial or anything. I think the FA has got it's not like a Mourinho who would be a bit outspoken. I mean, Southgate's just so.
He's a yes man, isn't he?
Exactly. The FA. I'm sure people in the FA being the puppet master and controlling and stuff like that. Because he doesn't seem to be.
I don't know. I'm going to stick up for him here. I think because I think it's an impossible job because people always have their opinions. Like, if you don't pick a certain player, they're like, "Oh, why didn't you pick him?" If you don't pick the right team against someone you think you should be beating, I think whatever he does, he's damned if he does, damned if he doesn't. So I don't think, even if you get a new manager in, that's why we've failed so many years.
I see that, but I sometimes think that when you play these lesser countries like England do all the time, if you go out and an England manager puts out a really attacking, expansive team, so you're playing someone who's far below your level, and then they might beat you 1-0 because you've been knocking on the door, can't get through, they've got a worldie keeper performance, they go beat you 1-0, you say, well, that was poor, but they went and attacked it. When you're playing for draws against teams that's miles below your capabilities by playing 7 or 8 defensive players, that's when people do. I think you do deserve criticism. When you've got someone like Jack Grealish, who is a great talent, he's barely been given a chance for England, gets half chance, looks the best player there, and then you continue to ignore him. Then I think the manager does deserve criticism. So I agree with you. It is an impossible job. I think whoever does it will get criticised because at the end of the day, England fans have it in their head that every manager is going to go on and win a World Cup, and when they don't, it's like, well, they're a failure because they haven't won a World Cup, even if England aren't good enough to win a World Cup. But I think he's not doing himself any favours, really, with the team selection, the tactics. I think he's becoming very hard to back.
I think it's the loyalty. I think it's the loyalty to some of the players from the World Cup, like you play.
Walkers, Jesus Christ!
Your Pickfords, your Dyers, the Maguires, people who aren't doing it for their club. But don't get me wrong, had a brilliant World Cup. They're not doing it for their clubs. You've got to pick the players in form for their clubs. People who are playing well, people who are confident. Calvert-Lewin, if he's doing it, stick him in.
Yeah, I get
Nick
that.
Pope, Dean Henderson, whatever, he was playing well.
When Harry Kane's back, you're not going to play Calvert-Lewin, are you? That's the problem.
It's just how it is.
And if you don't play Harry Kane, everyone go, "Oh, why aren't you playing Harry Kane?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Harry Kane's
you
play him.
Maybe that was a poor example of Calvert-Lewin, but
I get what you meant. I get what you meant.
Go on, Tom. Say Grealish.
He's right.
To be fair, I do agree.
If Pickford's playing poor and Nick Pope is playing well, I don't care that Pickford had a good World Cup. Pope's got to play. And same with Eric Dyer and Maguire. If they're not playing well for England, they're not playing well for Spurs and United. Play Lewis Dunk, play Ben White, play these people that are playing well for their clubs, whatever. Maybe poor examples again, I don't know. But,
play Matty Cash. Get him full back.
I think to, go further down the rabbit hole, did we actually have a great World Cup?
We didn't.
If you look, we lost to Belgium twice. We lost to...
it was set pieces.
Croatia.
Yeah, I mean, we beat Sweden, Colombia on penalties. Panama, who I think we could probably get the builders across the goals against. And
Croatia, we lost, didn't it?
Tunisia, who we beat in the 90th minute or whatever. So
Yeah.
The truth is,
I think, don't get me wrong, I had a great time at the World Cup. Like, you know,
I was all for it.
yeah.
if you stepped in and became England manager for that World Cup with no managerial experience, you had that run. If you didn't at least get to the semi-finals, people would have been calling for your head, even if you were like just a build off the street managing the football team. You had no idea what football was. With that run, you'd expect anyone with that squad to get to that far, really.
Yeah.
Every time they came, even Croatia, I mean, you say, right, Croatia were a good side, but I still think England should have had the beating of them on that day, really, shouldn't they? Like,
Yeah.
On man for man, England I'd say, were far better side than what Croatia were.
I think
They would have got beat in the end. Anyway, it's not worth thinking. They would have got smashed by France.
Bloody England.
That's what I mean. I think France would have just embarrassed us in that final.
Yeah.
So,
That's England in a nutshell.
So, anyway, Jack Grealish.
Can we actually talk about Arsenal quickly, about you, Mikel Arteta, and how good he actually is? Because I'm hearing people are saying that Arteta is the Unai Emery just with Dior Sauvage on. That's what I've heard people refer to him as. Did people see that or not?
Yeah.
I think he's quality. I think he's quality. Yeah.
I think
when Pep goes, Arteta will take over at City. That's what I think. A few years.
What's he done so far?
He's definitely
So
made
justify
Arsenal harder to
quality
beat.
rating. What's he done? Yeah.
He's definitely made Arsenal harder to beat.
He has, but I mean, they don't look. Where are they
They're
on the
not
table?
getting the results, really, are they?
No,
They
they're not.
should be if they're harder to beat.
But it takes time.
£40 million midfielder.
It takes time,
Who's supposed to be
doesn't
the best?
It does take time, same time, but how much time do you get?
Though he is a good manager, it just annoys me. I'm going to go back to this. It annoys me because I see the United manager being fucking slated more than any other of these managers. He's picked up better results than people like Arteta and Lampard have. Like, on a whole, we came ahead of both of them last year with a bare 11 pretty much because we just don't have the squad. I know Arsenal don't have a great team, but I just think it wouldn't annoy me so much if Solskjær didn't get as much stick as he did. I'm not saying Solskjær's the best manager in the world, but I don't think he deserves the hate he has because I don't know. Like when I hear people like Pochettino this, Pochettino that, I'm sticking by it. I don't think Pochettino does a lot better of a job with that side. I really don't. So I don't see it. I really like if we got Pochettino in tomorrow, I wouldn't be buzzing at all. I'd be quite annoyed if he sat Solskjær, to be honest.
Can I have a question though? When is Pogba going to become this world-class player?
When's he going to turn up?
Because everyone's saying, it's the manager, it's the position, but when? So it's got to be him.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is with Pogba? It's right, and it is annoying because it's annoying that always this argument about positions and stuff. But on statistics, he's actually been there or thereabouts with what he was at Juventus with United. I think
you can see. Don't tell me he's the same player. Right?
He isn't the same player, but if you're talking like on statistics, he creates, scores, assists about the same amount as what he did at Juventus when he was valued as a £90 million footballer. With there, it was getting results because he had a team of world-class people around him as well who were pushing him on. I'm not I don't think he's brilliant. I don't think he deserves the amount of criticism. I think people are just the whole of football. I think everything's too either here or there. If he came in for 30 million or something, I think people would be fine. I think people are like, he's a great player, like he's a servant. I think price tags have just ruined people's opinions on players sometimes. It's like Maguire. Maguire's had an awful start to the season, don't get me wrong. But he improved our defence no end last season. He ain't world class. He ain't an £80 million defender, but it doesn't mean he's a bad player on a whole. Because if you talk about players with price tags, it's hard to try to judge them like that. You've got to kind of judge them on footballers rather than how much they cost.
But if they're taking $300,000 a week, they've got to take a bit of responsibility, I'd say.
Yeah, but I agree with that. But I think that's more down to the club rather than the players being made that way. That's down to bad club management, really. Liverpool don't pay their players that well, and that's because they're well managed. United are a poorly managed, poorly run club, putting people on wages who don't deserve it. But I wouldn't say it's down to players. I think Pogba's not lit the world up at United. But I think there's been far worse players in the last few years. I think he gets a lot of criticism because he came in for a lot of money. But I don't know. I don't see him being as bad as people make out. But he was solid the other night. To be fair, he was very good. He does the job well. in some sort of games. I do agree. Like sometimes I think his defensive positioning is awful. I think in the box you don't want him defending in his own box because he's clumsy. He's clumsy at anything, arms and legs everywhere when he's defending in his own box. But
what do you think about the Van der Beek situation as well?
Oh, don't talk about Van der Beek.
Don't overreact. Like he's 5 games in. Like at the end of the day, and people would, when we signed him, everyone was like, "Oh, United are finally getting squad depth in. Like they're getting players. So when like Fernandes don't play, they've got good players playing. And then Fernandes starts the season well, Van der Beek don't play, and everyone's like, well, they shouldn't have signed Van der Beek then. Like,
I swear to God, though, if he starts this weekend, after I've taken him out for the first time in about 5 weeks.
Should we move on to a bit of fantasy then? We'll go to some
Go on
fantasy.
then. I bet you're happy to this, Jordan. Go on.
We'll start with some fantasy talk because whereas United haven't had the world's best start to the season, I have in the fantasy. So
you're only doing well because you got that Kane and Son combo you were on about earlier. That's why.
Yeah, I had Calvert-Lewin from the start of the season as well. A little humble brag. You know, I'd always rated him. Thought he was going to bag an unreal amount of goals to start with.
Respect.
Top 0.7%, 3,000 overall. You know,
that's impressive. How are we meant to compete with this when I'm sitting 2.5 million in the world or something ridiculous?
The other week, I actually got 94 overall, and the top person got 106 or something. So actually, I wasn't that far off. I'm like 11 off.
So you weren't top then?
No, I'm just saying.
I got 94 points.
No. What I'm saying is that's the closest I've ever been. So like the highest point.
Congrats, mate.
Yeah, I'll take a bow for that.
I'm also actually BCU's highest ranked player as well. So
respect.
Yeah,
just respect.
At 50 quid Amazon vouchers coming this way, I'm telling you.
This is my season though. This is my week where I just start things off. Triple captain Harry Kane.
Oh
no, you haven't.
I have.
Oh, you are.
I hope he gets injured now. I hope he gets
injured. Harry captain.
I've triple Kane Harry captain.
You're drunk with power.
Huh?
You're drunk with power.
Honestly, he's going to get a hat-trick this weekend. So this is it. This is the one. I have to go for something here. After last week, it wasn't acceptable. The boys didn't
we'll give the listeners a little roundup of the league. I'm just worried about the time as well. I'll quickly round up the league.
Yeah. No, I don't think you don't have to.
First place, unprotected Cesc with Jordan Martz, 439 points. Second place, Cruise Control Part 2, Alex
Jesus
Noonan,
Christ.
322 points. Just behind him, Abra Dubravka with Conor Blanchett at 314 points. Harvey's just 4 points behind Conor with Ben Me Over at 310 points. And then sat 15 points behind is McGinn Gang, Gooley, Tom Hartley at 295 points. So
I won our league last season, and now I'm bottom.
Deserved. That's karma.
Moving on to a few lighter issues here. Just since we're catching you up with what's going on in the break, our podcast got embroiled in our very first controversy over summer. You might remember, if you're a regular listener, at the end of last season, we spoke about Watford's dismissal of Nigel Pearson on the podcast. Tom Hartley was very, very animated about his dismay at Big Nigel being sacked by Watford. And
don't sack Big Nige. Don't sack Big Nige.
I thought I actually said that. Anyway, you got all the trouble.
Out of all the things that said on the podcast, controversial, I thought that was a very uncontroversial opinion. I thought that's just a nice, like.
I think what it was when I said,
rot in the championship.
I hope they rot in the championship. I think that's what it was. If anything,
that's what I did it.
That's
yeah.
what it was.
Put it mildly, I would say Watford fans were pissed off. You know, if that's putting it mildly.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was at work.
If you put it real ways, absolutely devastated by Tom's.
I was at work and I had my phone in my pocket, and I could, get the odd little vibration, don't you? But it was just going and going and going. I'm thinking, I don't know what this is. I don't know what this it can only be Twitter with the vibrations. And I looked and I went, what the hell is going on here? What? I seen like View from the Stands mention, me in a tweet. I was like, oh, Harvey's put something out, happy days. And then all these random people mentioning me. I had to run upstairs, go through it. I was like, oh my God.
Honestly, the best afternoon of my life, I think. I had so much fun going through the stuff they had to say. Some of it is unbelievable. Like, honestly, unbelievable.
I'm happy it was just kind of, we kind of avoided it a bit, didn't we? Tom was getting the brunt of it, unfortunately.
We were just constantly sending it to Tom, seeing what he had to say about it.
So,
there was one.
I think you're going to do the job of reading out some of your.
Yeah, I've just got a few here.
I'll tell you what didn't make me laugh.
Go on, do the one.
Because we were in, it was our awards episode, wasn't it? End of season awards.
Yeah.
So we all put a little shirt on, little tie, whatever. People thought we do that every episode.
Yeah. Look at us, we're normal.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about wearing my Halloween costume on for today, but
I thought you had, to be fair, Jordan.
Oh, he's back in there. You can see he's been away. He's been finding these ones. A few little zingers in his head. All right.
Going off what we were wearing, someone did say, this is what I'd expect a teams meeting between HSBC interns to look like, which is fair enough. I'd expect
I haven't seen that one.
The cheese one was my favourite.
Obviously, Watford fans obviously get it a lot because I've heard someone say, another day, another shite podcast talking about shite about Watford. So obviously Watford fans are used to this sort of horribleness.
They obviously think they're a massive club, and a lot of podcasts just talk a lot about Watford.
I was surprised at the interactions because I used the hashtag Watford WFC or whatever it was, Hornets. I didn't think I had any fans on Twitter. I don't think I've ever seen any Watford fans on Twitter before. But obviously now I have. I've seen loads. What was the one about the cheese?
Oh, she said the old lady said something about.
My fridge.
Yeah, no, there was an old lady who said something about it being.
Some
about older than cheese or something.
Who's
bloke said, I've got cheese in my fridge older than these.
Yeah, that was it.
Getting abused by someone's mouth.
Something like that.
Who are these mongs?
Nice one.
I like
nicely put.
This could be the worst clip from a podcast I've ever seen. 5 brainless people who probably have never kicked a ball in their life, clueless to say the least. And obviously I replied with the Connell 30-yard screamer. That's for you, Mum, on Mother's Day. So who's real winner there?
Me.
Yes, you are, mate. But yeah, it was honestly great fun. And Watford fans,
I think
Watford fans are here.
I got told I look like a junior Undertaker.
Yeah,
another good one.
I thought it was only Chris Stark and Elton John who supported Watford. I thought it was just them two go to the home game. I thought that was the only 2 people who supported them. But it seems like
honestly, I love it. You know, interaction with fans is brilliant. Either way,
and everything.
I genuinely got this one bloke who just atted me, prick.
What was his name?
I don't know. I can't remember that.
Yeah, brilliant.
I just liked it.
Cheers.
Nice one.
So Will Mackenzie.
Obviously,
brilliant.
We Watford, fans, we take it into some light-hearted strides. If this ever gets to any of you again, would you like to come on the podcast?
We'd love to
have one of you just sit and roast us, or we'll talk about how much Nigel Pearson's a nice guy. And
there was one bloke who was actually really keen to come on and defend Watford, wasn't he?
He was giving both sides of the story, and I've got to respect it. He wasn't.
Let's chase him down. He might want to cut him off. Come on.
Yeah, we'll try and find him. But we didn't want to offend anyone. He was there for a nice debate, which was.
Which
nice
was he there for? I think Tom maybe
rotting in the Championship. They're setting up rotting, Tom. They're doing all right. But
we don't want them back up. We don't want them back up, do we?
Oh no!
And clip.
No.
Yeah. Another thing more stupid than Watford fans getting very agitated with our little pod was the Carabao Cup. Is it the Carabao Cup?
No. It's the Leasing.com trophy. It was the Leasing.com trophy. It wasn't the Carabao Cup.
Oh,
it was the League 1, League 2 one.
Now
with the academy teams.
It's now the Papa John's trophy, isn't it?
Papa John's trophy, yes.
Yeah.
It's gone from the Johnson's Paint trophy from the Checker Trade trophy, from the Leasing.com trophy to the Papa John's trophy.
I mean, imagine that though. Just keeps getting better.
I don't even think it's the worst one. I'm saying it. The French league being the Uber Eats Ligue 1's worse.
Yeah, that's bad. I mean,
just to say, we're going for the fucking Papa John's trophy this season.
Just get a pizza night up. Get a free pizza night up. Slice as you go into the ground.
Oh,
If they
Ooh,
start
pepperoni.
giving if they start giving pizzas for the Man of the Match awards instead
They
of
will, won't
champagne,
they? I think they actually will.
they'll get the little guy on the
moped.
moped coming down the side of the pitch where the players are warming up.
He's got like flares on the back of his moped.
It might be a little football conspiracy. I think the EFL are deliberately trying to kill that trophy off. We're going to touch on football conspiracies in a few weeks.
Interesting.
I think they're just trying to make that trophy as embarrassing as possible so that no one goes and watches it, so they can just scrap it if they have a reason to.
Be a tongue twister if someone like Portsmouth win it, wouldn't it? Or Portsmouth win the Papa John's pizza trophy or something.
Versus Plymouth Argyle in the final.
I think Portsmouth versus Plymouth Argyle in the Papa John's Trophy final. God.
Imagine if Papa Bouba Diop was still playing for Pompey in the Papa John's Trophy.
Papa Bouba Diop scored the winner for Portsmouth against Plymouth Argyle in the Papa John's Trophy. See?
And Freddie Picquion scored the winner.
Oh, wow.
I do think the Johnson's paint pot, that's what they used to call it as well, wasn't it? The Johnson's paint pot. That was a bad one. That was a bloody bad one, wasn't it?
Paint pot.
Johnson's paint.
Wow.
That's what Saints won it.
So what's everyone's favourite sponsored trophies then? Are we saying the top's probably Barclays for the Premier League? Nice ones with it.
I like Carling at the time, the Carling Cup. That sounded really nice.
Carling Cup.
That was really good.
The Coca-Cola Championship, wasn't it? That was decent. That wasn't a bad. That stuck for a bit.
I think the Carabao Cup is one of the worst. I just never.
It runs nicely. It's grown on me a bit.
It's better than Papa John's trophy, to be honest.
Before Carabao Cup, it was Capital One Cup, wasn't it?
Capital One.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Yeah, a bit. It's ridiculous, isn't it? Really,
was it? The Milk Cup or something? Was it used to be called? It was sponsored by milk or something. Just milk in general.
Really? Just sponsored by cows. Cows got together and thought, we're sponsoring this one. Let's do it, boys.
I mean, there's a reason they call it the Mickey Mouse Cup. But
what was the one that was leasing.com trophy or something? What's that?
That's what it is.
That's what it is.
Papa John's have cut
leasing.com. Yeah. But I think the Empower Championship as well was quite a iconic stage.
Yeah.
That was nothing really to it, was there? You know, it was just Empower.
Maybe we'll save this and we'll give loads of people free sponsorship and do an episode on sponsors in the future. Shirt sponsors.
Sorry, one more. The Eon FA Cup was brilliant. That was unbelievable.
Yeah,
what
about FA Cup years?
Hang on, what about the Vanarama National League?
Oh, the advert every time you watch it on BT, and every time the Vanarama bloody advert goes off, you love it. Just whistling along to it every advert.
You love to see it. We get to wrapping it up, and we were talking about doing Person of the Week, but I'm going to lead this one just because I love him, Marcus. I think we all have to give a shout out to Marcus Rashford, who has been everyone's Person of the Week for the last quite a few weeks now during the summer. Guy scores on the pitch, feeds kids off the pitch. Genuinely just a good guy. He's taking Tories to the stake at Twitter every day, bagging asterisks. Like, he's just living my dream life, to be honest.
For a second, I thought you were going to say he scores on and off the pitch. I was thinking,
hang on.
I was
going to say that. And then I was talking about Rashford and not Wan-Bissaka. Yeah, that's what I was. I just remembered that I was talking about Rashford and not Wan-Bissaka.
But yeah, Rashford's done absolute bits, hasn't he? This year as a whole, he's shed a bit of light on a dark year for many a person. So well done, Marcus Rashford.
It's just
superb.
Nice to see all these old posh, knobheads in Parliament just scared of a 22-year-old kid from Manchester. That's quite nice to see.
I think that is a thing as well. How you?
I bet they hate it. I bet they absolutely hate it.
Well, he's everything that not just conservatives, because obviously everyone has their own political beliefs, but people middle upper class hate. He's young, he's black, he's rich, he's successful, and he cares about the working class because he was a working class lad. I mean, I think that's why footballers, and at the start of the pandemic, they got a lot of hate, because people like their celebrities, but politicians don't really like celebrities because they come up from the working class, they get rich and successful, and they have power over a lot of people that politicians don't normally get, because Rashford can speak for a lot of people, whereas politicians don't speak for a lot of people at the moment, to be honest. And I think they hate that and just hate what he's doing. And the fact he's doing it more relentlessly and he's getting people to speak out and help out kids who really are in need of it. And obviously someone who's come from a background like that and he's grateful and he's proud of where he came from. Not someone you see, not that it'd be a problem. If he has all his right now to stop doing that, get on his social media bragging about all the money he has and all the cars he has, because you know what, you've earned it, man. You've earned what you get, but he chooses not to do that. And I think in an age, I was saying this the other day, where we often spoke about feeling out of touch from footballers. I think he's bringing the country back into touch with footballers and being more like that. Like, he's the type of guy you feel like if you saw him in the street, you could have a conversation with him. I don't think he's not like a rude guy. He comes across nice, presentable, and just a great guy. I'm lucky to have him play for my club, to be honest. So.
He's a perfect example of how you use your platform.
Yeah, definitely.
Good use. Like, some people don't, but he knows exactly how to do it and perfectly. So yeah,
I think a lot of footballers have put themselves in a good light during the pandemic. I think a lot of them have done a lot of good things, and the troubles some football clubs have been having non-league, and I think even Wigan and some ex-players, and have been putting money into clubs and charities, and I've seen loads of things on social media recently of footballers doing things in communities, and rather than slagging them all off.
Yeah, and I think that's nice, because politicians did like to blame them at the start of the pandemic, but wanted them to contribute their own money to things when they themselves won't contribute their own money to help out people. So I think footballers do deserve a lot of credit sometimes. They're not all bad guys. I think they get a lot of hey, I remember I was listening to something in the holidays or something, and it's just like footballers' wealth is just, obviously it's something they get attacked for a lot, but I still stick by this. I think some of it's overinflated and overjustified, but on a whole, I mean, the game's worth so much, so they're only getting paid what their portion of what they earn from the game, really, aren't they? Like, it's a lot of money in comparison when there's nurses and stuff struggling for like the type of job. But the money in football, they don't deserve the hate they get for getting paid what they did. Anyone would do it. If you're a working class lad like Rashford, you come from a council estate, why not use your thing to try to get as much money as you can? Apparently he's bought a house for his mum, sorted all his brothers out with like houses and stuff. Like, he's not someone going around splashing it on pointless and I bet although Rashford gets a lot of the credit, and so he should, but there's a lot of footballers like that, and I think a lot of them get flashed because the small minority are playboy footballers. You like the money, and even then you can't criticise them too much, because most people will in that situation. You get money, you get fame, you're going to do that stuff, and it's just...
You've got to understand as well, they're most of them are in their 20s as well, where for us it would be, you just, you go out on a Saturday, you do this, you do that.
Yeah.
For them, they're in the limelight all the time, and that's the thing.
You got to think about all those idiots on Twitter who was telling Rashford to focus on his football.
Yeah.
And as much as I don't like to say, he's doing both, isn't he? I mean, he's scoring against
two
PSG.
separate things, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. You don't need to focus on one of these.
I've even seen United fans guilty of that. Like, he gets, I'd say he's almost more rated outside the United fan, well, on social media. I'm talking, he's obviously probably the favourite of the match going United fans, but football Twitter fans who seem to think that United can only have one of Rashford and Martial, and it's got to be Martial because Rashford's English and he's shit, like, sort of thing, which is just not true. He's not a bad player.
I think it'd be interesting now to see if fans were back, the sort of reception Rashford would get from, say, if he was at Stamford Bridge, for example, the sort of reception he'd get from home fans from anywhere across the country, whether he'd be, I don't know, like if he came off clapped, I don't know, like he's done such a thing for the country. And
I mean, he wouldn't if they scored 4 goals against.
No, yeah. You understand at the same time it's a football game.
It's very hard to get scores against them. They're all giving it this one to him and everything.
Well, did you not see Yannick Bolasie got a standing ovation at Anfield?
Yeah.
Did you see that tweet?
Maybe if Rashford went down, to take a corner or something, there might be a little small
that's the thing. I don't
applause or something like that.
I'm asking a lot there from football fans, but who knows? Yeah. He might have been a bit different.
I want to see him get appreciated. I just don't want to see no half and half banners like Liverpool, we love you, Rashford, or anything like that. That made me feel sick. I don't want any of that. I don't want to see no half and half scarves with Rashford face on it with Chelsea colours on it. I don't want to see that. I just want to see him get a nice little applause, respect for what he's done, don't abuse him. But please, I just think it's just you know, football fans, they're weird. You'll see someone, there'll be some tit in a Liverpool shirt with Rashford's name on the back or something, won't there?
Yeah,
You know, those type of things will happen. Like, I don't want to see that happening. I don't want Rashford being like dragged through the mud. With all due respect, but no, I think
with all due respect.
I think, yeah, there's not much we can say really that hasn't been said about him, but hats off to him. Great guy.
Keep it up, Marcus.
Love you, Marcus, and I think that brings us to the close of the episode. So thank you if you listened in. Thank you for watching it on YouTube. We're going to keep doing this now to the third series. So we're asking for your ideas. We're going to keep coming back with content hopefully on a weekly basis, and keep talking shit about football, I think, for the foreseeable future. So thank you if you listened. If you want to get in touch on the podcast on Twitter, Instagram, get in the comments on YouTube, just let us know what you want to see, and just engage in some responses. But don't be just at us calling us pricks.
Don't be like Watford.
Please.
Be less Watford if possible. So thanks, guys.
Thank
Cheers,
you.
Jordan.
And,
Cheers.
See you on the next one.
Bye.
And here comes Hurst. He's got some people are on the pitch. They think it's all over. It is now.